It's not his fault he doesn't have health insurance. Somebody with minimal health insurance gets sick, gets cancer, gets liver disease or something.
And they die.
And they die.
About 150 of them a day in America.
Yeah, and they die. But some of the politicians say, you can buy yourself some health insurance. Not on minimum wage, you can't. Not if you only make $20,000 a year, you can't.
Not if you plan on eating.
Not if
or
you plan
sleeping
on eating
inside.
or sleeping inside. Exactly. With electricity and water and things. Yeah.
Is there another project that stands out in your mind? You can say no, that's fine.
I'm trying to think, because the things that really excite me are when I can be with other people and giving of me. There are...
So, like in your ministry, when you counsel your parishioners.
Or any stranger who walks in off the street. Because I do that too. People show up, Pastor, can I talk to you? Yeah, what's your name? And I'll talk to them. It's
So if someone who was not an attendee and not paying dues or putting money in the collection plate or whatever came here and wanted regular weekly sessions with you because they can't afford a shrink or whatever, you would make yourself available to that?
I would. I'm not qualified to be like a shrink. I'm not a pastoral counselor. What my training qualifies me for is 3 visits maybe, and then refer to somebody who can. But there have been folks who come in, not members here, show up every so often. Often somebody who comes and uses the food bank. And Pastor, I need to talk. And they might show up once a month for 6 months or something. And Pastor, I need to talk. Sure, I'll sit here for you for an hour and a half, whatever it takes, and help you through whatever it is you're going through today. That's what I do. That's my calling. People in the grocery line, it doesn't matter where I am. It's what matters is that I'm always supposed to be helping other people to the best of my ability with every gift that I have that's useful. Painting clearly is not one of them, but listening.
You could paint so that people could laugh at you.
Yeah, this is true.
Please describe for us the first service project you remember working on.
When I was in the Girl Scouts in 4th grade, I think, we collected food for Christmas or Thanksgiving for people who were less well off. We, had food and put it in baskets and delivered it to folks who needed it, and that was kind of neat. I like that. That's probably why I like feeding people now, because it was the first thing that I remember doing.
Okay. Do you have a particular spiritual practice that you find benefits you? If you want to list more than one, that would be fine.
One of the things that is of great benefit to me is meeting with my spiritual director once a month.
That's someone within your denomination?
No, she's not in my denomination. She's United Church of Christ. What she is a spiritual director, and she speaks with clergy of all different denominations. And one of my friends has a Catholic priest as her spiritual director. The denomination.
So it's similar to the way a psychiatrist has to be seeing another psychiatrist.
Yeah.
So that they don't get overburdened with the cares of their flock.
Exactly. Yeah. She helps me with my spiritual life, just as I help my congregation with their spiritual life. One spiritual practice I can show you, because this is quite cool, is coloring.
Yeah, I can't
Can you
really.
see it? There we
Not
go.
really, but.
It's
So
called,
doodle and color.
it's called. I actually have a book on. It's called Praying in Color, and whatever thing I'm praying about me, and I recently went through radiation therapy. So I'm in the middle, and then around that is radiation therapy, and around that is everything that surrounded me, the prayers and love and care of my friends and congregation, and just random people on Facebook and stuff. This really helps me to focus on the things that I would like to be focusing on. It's really quite a fun way of focusing my prayers.
Okay.
You know, some people, look at a candle. I can do that, but then my mind goes that way.
Well, I like this
This focuses.
because it kind of answers the next question, which is, can you give us a simple, non-threatening spiritual practice that someone who may either not have grown up in a faith tradition or might have been hurt by their faith tradition, as you were,
as I was.
can do? And so this would be one that would be...
This is absolutely wonderful. It requires no particular religious background or faith background. It can be, just that higher power.
It's
that
like creative
first learned.
visualization using some
Yeah.
colored pens.
Yep. Yes. I have my crayons here. These are crayons that work like colored pencils, but they're actually crayons. It's kind of cool. But yeah, I have paper and things with which to color all over the place. I have 2 or 3 places at home and one in my car and here, so that when I want to or feel the need to, I can stop and do this very focused sort of meditation and prayer.
I'm going to describe for you now 2 viewers. One is rocking and rolling. Maybe they're educated, they're doing well in their life, married, single, whatever, have a very active social life. Everything they want in their life is happening. They take great vacations. There's money that's going to be there to retire. Everything's good. They're busier than a one-armed paper hanger. Okay? And the other one is someone who's maybe struggling. Someone who's serially unemployed. For each of those 2 people, why should they want to be of service to someone other than their own special narrow interests, self-interest?
In the case of the person who has everything going wrong, serving others, at least I learned that serving others helped take me out on myself. Very often it helped me be grateful for what little I did have, because even when, and I have been homeless, even when times like that, if I was also helping somebody else, it always made me feel more grateful. It made me feel useful and productive. And when you are not working and you don't really have a good place to live and everything's going wrong, you really need to feel productive. And being able to serve someone else, it really helps with that.
What about the other person?
The other person, because you have so much out of gratitude, for all the good stuff I have, I should give of myself.
So do you think they should just write a check? Or show up to throw some slop on a plate? Or both?
Yeah, both. Somebody has to pay for that slop that goes on the plate. So, the donation is important. There are those who physically can't do anything because their body won't let them. For them to give a donation is what they can do. You do what you can do. If someone is well off enough to give a good donation and can also, spend a couple hours painting or feeding someone or
cutting someone's yard,
or giving somebody a ride to the doctors. A little old lady down the street doesn't have a way to get there. Take her to the doctor. There's so many small things.
How would
anyone
someone
can do.
go about finding out about such opportunities for service?
You have to step out of yourself to learn about them. My husband says I'm nosy, which may be true, but I know which of my neighbors...
My wife says the same thing about me.
Yeah. I mean, I like looking out the window and seeing what's going on. But, and I almost need to know what's going on in other people's lives, because how am I going to serve them if I don't know what's happening? So I know which of my neighbors are going through a hard time, which ones are celebrating the birth of a new child, which ones are just basically miserable. and only need to, have somebody hold their hand for a minute. In the grocery store, when I smile at somebody,
What
I get responses. So it's really not that big of a stretch to find someone you can help.
what will this person? You described what the struggling person will get out of it. What will the more successful person get out of serving others?
I believe gratitude again. Gratitude is what fuels most of what I do and most service. It's not because I'm wonderful, but it's because I'm grateful that I have what I have, and that I'm able to share it. That I'm able to, walk down the street and take this lady her newspaper that she can't come outside and get. That I can spend 5 minutes talking to a kid who needs some direction. Big sisters, big brothers, things like that are wonderful for someone who either has stuff or doesn't have stuff, because you're helping someone else grow.
If you knew that you could not fail, if I could issue you an ironclad guarantee of success in your next endeavor, what would you attempt? I would give every child in this community preschool. And we try to. We have 2 preschools here. But if I absolutely couldn't fail, and there was a place for every single child, they would have preschool in whatever language they need to have it in, to give them that opportunity, because it really is true that if you educate them, go preschool, they're more likely to finish high school, and they're more likely to go on to college, and then they don't have to live the way they have to live today. Yeah. And can I have 2? Sure.
2 things?
Sure.
I would have. There's a lot of homeless folks around here, and they sleep in doorways, or they sleep under a tree, or they get chased a lot.
It's raining outside right now.
It's raining outside right now. Well, Eusebio will be comfortable in it's all covered. He doesn't get wet there, which is good. But there's a lot of other people who don't have even the little bit of shelter that he has. And there are those who don't want to go to shelter. They just don't want to. But
because they don't want to.
They don't want rules.
They don't want the rules.
They don't
want
rules.
to be preached at. They don't want whatever the rules.
Mostly they don't want rules.
Okay.
They don't want to, go to bed at this time or any of those things. But I would have a place for every single one of those people to live. If I had to buy the apartment complex right next door, if I could buy that and just make it available for the people who couldn't afford their own home, that's what I could do. That would be wonderful.
Okay.
Okay, but in some places, it's well beyond just housing. It's stop the rapes, stop the war, stop the stealing of the minerals, stop all of those things. This is working toward those things. Is the kingdom, is working toward the kingdom, is trying to live in it, making the people in Congo who are stealing the coltan stop doing that, so the people who actually live in Congo, not are coming over from the country next door and stealing stuff, could benefit from the greatest wealth known to the world is in their country. They have the wealthiest resources in the world, but the people who live there aren't getting any benefit from it, because the people who are killing them are stealing their minerals and selling them to, I don't know, the people who make my phone. Yeah, it's stopping those things is living into the kingdom.
Thank you.